While we found or figured out pretty much all the secrets inside Balan Wonderworld that we can access inside the game, deep inside the code of both the final game and the demo that was available are some files, some text, and some images that never seemed to make it to the finished game. While we may never know exactly what all these mean, it's interesting to see what other content was planned for the game and removed for one reason or another. A huge shout out goes to IamSean98, who pulled most of this information from the game and shared it with me and everyone else on the Balan Wonderworld Discord server. I've put a link to his channel in the description down below. Also a shout out to Fort, also from the Discord channel as well. I know he contributed to these discoveries as well. Alright, let's get into it. Taking a look at the localization files, we can see there's actually a lot of unused text that was included in the game files. Some of these would have been used on the Isle of Tims as more tutorial style dialogue, and others seem like they would have been used in the stages themselves. Did nobody tell you that Tims disappear if left unconscious for too long? Come on, go wake them up. This obviously would have appeared on the Isle of Tims as a short tutorial piece, but what's really interesting about this line of text is that in the demo, this was actually true. If you didn't wake up and feed your Tims regularly, they would start to disappear. This meant that you could easily lose Tims on the Isle of Tims if you just ignored them. For some reason, in the final game, they removed this and the Tims stay permanently, except for what's coming up next. Tims vanish if left inside Tim traps for too long. Come on, hurry up and save them. I discovered this early on when playing the game, but it would have been nice to be told via some sort of tutorial. If you leave any Tims trapped in the piranha plants on the stages, they will actually not return with you to the Isle of Tims. This right now is the only way to decrease the amount of Tims that you have. Did you know that different colored Tims can do different things? For example, blue Tims can destroy pesky spike spheres. Go ahead and try feeding your Tims lots of colors of drops. Just something that would have been nice to point out. While the Isle of Tims has different statues that kind of show you what each color of Tim does, I'm not sure why they cut this tutorial, as it would have made it much clearer what the blue Tims do. Embark on an adventure with a Tim of your choosing. This again is something that would have been nice to know that we had to discover ourselves. This is referring to the fact that if you carry a Tim in your arms through a gate into one of the acts, it will come with you. This is the only way to guarantee you have a specific Tim going into a stage. Pick up the Tim you want to take with you and head to the checkpoint hub. Speaking of taking Tims with you, this one makes it sound like you were supposed to be able to pick up Tims in the world stages as well and take them back to the hub area in your arms. But in both the demo and the final game, you can't interact with the Tims inside the different worlds. Where the portal leads depends entirely upon where you enter it. This could be referring to the mirrors you enter to teleport to different areas, or possibly the Chrono Bunny's power. What's interesting with it is that you only ever have one mirror to go in and one to come out, so there's no real choice. Perhaps this meant that there would have been multiple that you could have used or exited. Look! One of them's a different color from the rest. Maybe this is referring to the different colored Balan statues you find in Act 3, or it could be something that's shown when you first get a Tim of a different color. Magnificent. Balance has been restored and happiness overflows once more. Thank you, little one. This seems like it might have been some endgame text that just got cut for one reason or another. Change characters. While very small, this text could mean so much. I wonder if this means that they originally planned to let you switch between Leo and Emma while playing the game. In the final, whoever you choose at the start of the game is who you play as for the rest of the time. I've checked, and this doesn't appear on the character select screen when starting the game either. Feed the Ultima Tim a raindrop and have it take you up to the island in the sky. And bring a rare Tim into the world. Thankfully, we figured these two out on our own, as it's not actually told in the game. These are referencing how to get the Balan costume by bringing the King Tim into the world and giving it to the completed statue. Click the link at the top of the video now to see my guide on how to do this. Remove costume. Would you originally have been able to take your costume off? This would have solved issues with wearing a costume that couldn't jump and having to backtrack to get one that could. I checked in the change room and this does not show as an option when you choose to remove a costume from a slot, so this really does seem like you were supposed to be able to take off your costume at will. Defeat a Defensi while wearing a costume equipped with a sickle. Defeat a Cowardly while wearing a speedy costume. Defeat a Thorny Nagati while wearing a costume capable of breaking iron. Defeat an icy Nagati while wearing a frost giant costume. Defeat a fiery Nagati while wearing the flame blaster costume. Defeat an electric Nagati while wearing an electric costume. Defeat a windy Nagati while wearing a wind related costume. Perhaps there were going to be more specific battle challenges in the game too. These sound almost like they would have been trophies or achievements as its specific enemy types and costume combinations. This is kind of a big one. From the demo files, we found reference that the Tower of Tims was originally supposed to be a lot bigger. In the final game, we only get 5 sections of the tower, and there's no mention of Tim rings, whatever those are. We did find one file referencing a Tim ring, but it doesn't give us much to go on, and it's just an icon. It's possible this could have been like a hoop that the Tims would have jumped through to get you progress as well, or it could have been something actually on the tower itself. So that means that there were another 4 sections of the tower planned, as well as 4 Tim rings. I wonder if this means that there was actually some other purpose for the Tower of Tim that had to be scrapped in development as well, rather than just for trophies and completion. And would this mean that the goals would have been even higher? In the demo, IamSean98 was able to spawn a strange ball object that had no textures associated with it and didn't seem to do anything special, but it could be pushed around. It never seemed to make it into the finished game. The closest thing to it is the bomb objects, but those were finished in the demo files and are separate, so this looks like it was something else. Similar to the ball object, there was also something called a jumper, which seems like a trampoline that you can jump on and interact with. While it does bounce you into the air, you can't time your jump or go higher like the mushrooms that you can in the final game, so it seems like this didn't make the final cut either. The final release of Balan Wonderworld included 2-player drop-in or drop-out local co-op. But looking at the game demo files, it seems that there may have been plans to include up to a 4-player co-op at some point. Here we see icons for both Leo and Emma, shaded in 4 unique colors, much like what we get in the final game. We see the default blue color, then red, which is used in co-op in the final game, but we also have files for a green color and a yellow color for both players. I find this really interesting because the game scope would have had to have been a lot larger if they were to include 4-player co-op. If you've tried playing co-op at all, while it is functional with 2 players, the camera only follows 1 player, making it very difficult to do anything with the second player. This means most of the time you'll be stuck together combining powers. Did they originally plan to have a 4-player split screen? Or would you have been able to combine 4 costume powers together all at once? How overpowered would that have been? In the demo files, we can see that it actually included cyan, yellow, pink, orange, green, blue, purple, red, and rainbow drops in both guide form and counter style. In the final release, we only got the yellow, pink, blue, red, and rainbow drops, so we're missing cyan, orange, green, and purple drops that are shown here. What the effects of feeding Tims these drops is anyone's guess. The book describes the drops in all colors, so it does make more sense that there are more than the original 5, but what they could have been used for is a mystery. Count icon, silver ticket, or card. This is not found anywhere in the final game. It shows a silver looking ticket with a Balan hat embossed on it and 4 holes punched into the design. What this would have been used for is anyone's guess. UI Hub Guide 03 Lump. This one is really confusing. A strange lumpy rock formation, it looks almost like a lump of drops. As far as I know, this wasn't used in the game anywhere either, and honestly I have no guesses what it would have been used for. Lastly, there's also a rainbow soccer colored minigame tile that was never used. We got the blue and the gold ones in the game. I wonder what the rainbow would have given as a reward. A rainbow drop? Or maybe it would have multiplied your score? That's all the items that are missing from the game that we found for now. I find it really interesting to take a look at these and wonder what else might have been planned for Balan Wonderworld. A lot of these omissions, like the tutorial dialogue and the different colored drops, make me think that parts of the games may have been cut for one reason or another. Did they simply not have enough time to complete everything they wanted to? Was the scope too large? Hopefully we'll get some answers to these questions one day. What do you think of all these pieces that were cut from the final game? Do you have any ideas what they might have been for? Did you find anything else that I might have missed? Let me know in the comment section down below. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed the content, consider leaving a like and subscribing. I've got some other really cool Balan Wonderworld videos planned that will be coming out soon. Plus, I cover lots of other games on the channel as well. And as always, happy gaming.